Hi, John Kavakis here with another edition of My Take. Today, we've got Brooklyn's 1933 Pierce Arrow Limited Edition. Now, I know that name sounds familiar to you. The Pierce Arrow from Brooklyn was #1. It was kind of legendary, but this model has some historic significance. It's got special packaging. I'll explain everything to you in just a minute. But I first want to talk about why this model is so special. And to do that, we've got to go all the way back to the beginning of Brooklyn in 1974. John Hall, a designer, engineer, and also an automobile enthusiast, decides to start making models in his basement in Brooklin, Ontario. Brooklyn with an I, not a Y. Brooklin, Ontario, Canada. Those first models were made of resin. They were very rudimentary. They needed popsicle sticks underneath the chassis to give them some structural rigidity. And those first attempts were made over a 1933 Pierce Arrow. They were two-tone blue over gray, had no windows, had rudimentary interior, not a whole lot of detail in there, but they looked fairly decent. They had some basic packaging, a white paper box with a picture on it and a description card pasted on the side. And they were a little bit more of caricatures, more toy-like than they were actual miniature models. So by 1977, they were being made out of white metal. The detail had improved, the image had improved, and in 1979, John Hall moved the company to Bath, England. And that made those early Canadian models instant collectibles and historically significant. So now, 43 years later, Brooklyn's on the move again. They're moving to a new, modern, better facility just outside of Bath. And to commemorate another historic, another milestone moment in the history of Brooklyn, they're making a very limited edition of those first models made in Canada. And I've got one right here. It's in white metal, and you're going to see what they did. I think they've done something very special here. So I'm going to take it out of the box. First, take a look at the box. I've got a little video of that. I mean, as soon as you look at the box, it starts bringing up memories and all the appearance of the very early Brooklyn boxes. But I got to tell you something. Unboxing it brings some memories too. Because, as we do the unpacking, remember those boxes that they were packed so tightly with foam and everything? It's all here. And it's just like opening up a Brooklyn from the late 70s, early 80s or so. So we got the model in there. There's a commemorative placard. I've got a close-up picture of it. I'm going to show it to you. It's got the number. This is number 2 of 100. It says right here, and it's signed by all of the members in the factory. And it's substantial. It's made out of. It's kind of metallic looking. I love it. So let's take the model out of the. Here's the plastic packaging, just like they used to do. Let's get it on the turntable and take a look at it. Now, again, this is made to evoke a memory. It's made to take us back to a different time. Still, Brooklyn has done a really good job, and particularly where you see it's been masked to separate the blue from the gray. They've done a really good job of masking. It's definitely a step up from what they used to be able to do. The chrome plating on this is decent. The hood ornament is there. It's beautifully done. The grille looks pretty good. The wheels have been nicely replicated. But you know what? It's lacking the detail we would find on the more modern Brooklyns. They've done something to pick out the taillights on it. I think the form is beautiful. They've done a great job with it. There's windows in it. There's some interior detail, but not a lot. So all in all, it's a nice job. I think Brooklyn's done a great job of bringing us something that reminds us of where their roots are, where their beginnings are. And it's not meant to be up to the levels of NB Center collection, the extreme detail that we've seen, the high level of fit and finish that we've seen. It's meant to remind us where Brooklyn has its roots. So I like the model. The finish is far better than anything Brooklyn did in the early days. They've done a nice job on that. The packaging just reminds me of that nostalgic look back on Brooklyn. And they've got a nice model. And the price point, they've done a really good job of keeping the price down, 120 pounds. The great thing about it is if you're a member of the BCC, you can get a 10% discount on that. All you have to do is contact Mo Brown and John Boyer about that, and we'll make sure you get the right codes to do that. So I want to do the 5-star thing here, and I've had some fun with this. And so as I look at the 5 stars, they're all about zeros. I mean, fidelity, it's a bit smaller than it could be. The detail, the badging and everything is almost non-existent. The lensing, they've actually done a decent job with the headlights and the tail lights, but it's not what we've come to expect. But then when I get down to the bottom line on the 5 stars, I want to get to value. And this one has a value that can hardly be expressed. I think the value is through the roof. It takes us back to a simpler time. It takes us back to when the hobby was a lot simpler than it is right now. It takes us back to a moment where we were all excited about the first ones that we saw. I mean, they had so many iterations of the Pierce Arrow. I think they're 19 or 20 or 21, something like that. But it takes us back to those days where even something in a different color would just light the flames, and we'd go looking for them. You know, some people still do those things. You know, I've got a couple of Pierce Arrow #1s in my collection, and I pull them out every now and then, and I look at them, and it's not just nostalgic, it's a piece of history. And Brooklyn's given us another piece of their history, and they've kept it reasonably priced. I think they've done a beautiful job of looking back and at the same time causing us to look forward to what's coming next. The new Factor is going to be fantastic. The detail level is going to be better than ever before. I got to believe the finish is going to be better than ever before. And they've been doing a pretty good job on a finish. So to me, I say thank you, Brooklyn. Thank you for reminding us where we were. Thank you of giving us something that reminds us not just of the first model made in Ontario, Canada, but the first model made in Bath. And this, my friends, is the last model made in Bath. So the next model coming out will be Pontiac Torpedo, and that'll come out of the new factory. Look, it's a fantastic model. You can go to the Brooklyn website and order it right now, but you got to move quickly. There are only 100 of them made. This is sure to be a collector's item. Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is my take on Brooklyn's 1933 Pierce Arrow limited edition. I appreciate if you enjoyed the video, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button down below. That helps me on the channel. I'd love to hear your comments on it. I'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. And of course, I'd love to have you as a subscriber. I got a few more videos coming up in the next few weeks, and I'd like to be able to share them with you. Have a great day.